The 5 keys to success is making sure that number 1, you're always learning new things. A lot of times I meet a lot of business owners and they go, well, John, I already know that. Oh, I've come across that before. But the problem is if you know something, but you don't do it, you don't know it. It's always important to always have the edge, always learn new things. I think the problem is a lot of people don't want to learn new things because, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit lazy. Maybe people, they're not actively going out learning stuff. And so when I travel around the world, I make it a point to find people to connect with, to find people to mastermind, to find people to make sure that if you want to improve your game, you're going to hang around with people who are playing a bigger game than you. And that's how you grow. How can you improve a game when you're playing with somebody? You got to play with someone who's better than you. When you play with someone better than you at that game, what happens is you improve your own game. That's the first thing I'd advise a lot of you do if you want to become more successful. The second thing is just hang around with successful people. If you can find somebody and they can teach you something that you don't know, what happens is this osmosis, right? Hang on people who are rich, you're going to be rich. When you hang on people who are broke, you're going to be broke. So it's always important to find people who lift you up, not people who are negative, people that say, oh, you can't do it, and who do you think you are? Like, fortunately, with entrepreneurship, we live in this world where if you want to do something, people think you're crazy. And I'm talking about entrepreneurship, right? You want to become an entrepreneur and start your own business. Maybe some of you have friends that you speak to on a regular basis. You tell them something, you go, well, that's not going to work. That's crazy. Be realistic. I don't know if any of you have heard that saying before. But every time I focus on hanging around and finding the right people, I want to make sure that these people are aligned. It's not just finding people who are more successful than you, but finding people who are aligned with you. And that's the key. A lot of times I've been in a lot of relationships, a lot of business partnerships, a lot of circles where everyone wants the same thing, but everyone wants the different thing. So I'll give you an example. Like, we're in Vegas right now. So when you come here with a group of people, not all people want to do the same thing, right? You try and do something and you're like, well, I want to do this. But then other people want to do other things. And then so therefore that group starts to split apart. So the key is to find your group and the key is to find your tribe. When you do this, everything changes. Also as well, about finding the right people, hanging around people and getting your tribe. The tribe is to make sure that they are supportive of the things that you want to do together. I'll give an example. When I first started in real estate, I had a lot of friends say to me, oh yeah, anything you need, let me know. And you reach out to these people and then you can't get hold of them. That's why it's really important to hang around circles who are in alignment with what you do, because everyone wants the same thing. And if everyone wants the same thing, you have a much higher chance of achieving that same thing. That's why they call it a mastermind, right? You want the fastest way to create success is to make sure that you are finding people who all want the same thing as you. Everyone wants to become financially free, you get there faster. Everyone wants to be in meaningful relationships, you get there faster. You want to create multi-million dollar companies, right? You hang around the right people. This is what's important. Second thing is probably out of everything is going to get you there the fastest. The third thing, if you want to create a lot of success in your life, is you've got to take action on a daily basis. And not just action when you feel good. Right? You got to take action even when times are tough. And that's the hardest thing. When you take action when times are great, that's called motivation. When you take action when times are tough, that's called discipline. There's going to be things that you don't want to do on a regular basis because there's pain involved in that. And here's the problem. If you're always doing things that you like to do, you get dopamine hits. And the higher you go, the lower you drop. Whereas a little tip I want you to try, if you do something that's really hard, your pain threshold, it drops and then it returns to a higher norm. And this is why a lot of people, if they're on social media all the time, they're always watching Netflix all the time, they're always going out all the time, right? They're getting those dopamine hits and that's why they go up and they come down. You want to do the opposite way around. Start the thing that's the hardest first. When you do that thing that's the hardest first, straight away, you start to develop that discipline and that discipline starts to define who you are. A lot of people say, well, when I have that money, then I'll do those trips and then I'll have a successful life. No, instead of have and then you do, then you be, you'd put it the other way around. If you've ever heard this saying like fake it till you make it, well, I don't agree with that. But what I do agree with is you got to do the things that person would actually do. If you're a professional athlete, I hang around a lot of my professional athlete friends, they're eating, every time we go out for dinner, they're always eating really clean, no alcohol, just water. That's how they be. You've got to be that person. Right? People say to me, John, what's the strategy I need to learn to become a millionaire? No, it's the person you have to become that millionaire. So that's where you've got to be that person first. Because when you be that person, when you understand what they are and who they are, then you start doing what they do. So you become that person. then you do it, you take action on a regular basis, and then you have the life that you want. People get it the opposite way around. So you got to be the person, right? You got to take that consistent action. You heard me say this a million times, but how many of you are consistent? How many of you do the things every single day that you say you're going to do? How many of you say you're going to do something and you still don't do it? An easy way that I find that you can create discipline is by not thinking about the thing that you do. When you don't think about the thing that you do, you start to get more of the thing that you do. And that's the key. The more action I take, the more I learn, the faster I fail, the more income I make, period. That's it. That's why I'm able to travel around the world. That's why I've designed the life that I want to live. Right? So I was just in LA. I was like, oh, shall we go to Vegas? Why? I want to watch some cool shows here. In fact, we're at the Bellagio and I just watched this show called Oh, it's amazing if you haven't seen it. But I want my friends to experience that. I want my team to experience that. So we flew everyone down and now we watch the show and we enjoy it, right? We integrate it into our life. When we have discipline, we create the things that we want and then we don't think about it. Fourth thing, you want to create success. This is the absolute key for me. Like if you want to create success in your life, you have to start with the failures first. What do I mean start with the failures? Failures means that whenever we do something, we're not going to expect an instant result. People want fast, quick results. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. You have to fail fast and you are going to fail and you are going to have the setbacks. And this is why people get disappointed. They start a business, they want to do something great in life, and then it doesn't work for whatever reason. And guess what? They give up. They stop. But if we come with the mindset of, you know what, we're going to fail. When I say fail, I don't mean fail. I'm talking about when you get these setbacks. Like things are not going to work straight away. Your mindset has to be, when I try this, it's not going to work straight away. But what it's going to tell me is the thing that I can do in order for me to do more. And this is why I want you to change the mindset of how you think about success. Success is not just about making millions of dollars. Success is about doing what you truly love to do whenever you want, with whoever you want, anytime you want. Choice, freedom. That is true success. When I'm talking about creating these failures, we want to get there faster because by getting failures out of the way. So I'll give you an example. I used to be an animator, right? So I couldn't draw. But my teacher said to me, John, you've got to get 1,000 bad drawings out of you first. Then you're going to be able to draw. Then you're going to be able to animate. And so, but if I didn't put that pencil to paper straight away, I wouldn't be able to do it. That's what's key. That's what we have to pay really close attention to. And by the way, if you're enjoying this, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'll be uploading more content on this as well. And also, if you love to join us around any place around the world, we're running a lot of live in-person events to really help you scale up, to grow who you are. Maybe some of you are stuck with the same mindset and you're like, John, I'm not growing. I don't know why I'm not growing. Or John, I'm not feeling fulfilled. Or John, I don't know why I got all this money, but I'm still not happy. If you're in that situation, come meet me at one of my events. Because in those events, we talk about transformation, how you can really grow to the next level. So check out the link below and you'll find out what our next one is. So number 5, this out of all of them is the most key that you're going to need to success. And that is, you've always got to be humble. What do I mean by humble? A lot of the times that stop people from becoming successful is because they have an ego. And the ego stands in the way. And I'll tell you what it sounds like. So you try and give someone feedback and they get defensive, right? You give someone feedback and they're not listening. You see, when the student is ready, the master will show. So every time you do something, we've got to always be the ultimate student. And this is still after 20 years of being in business, of creating multi-million-pound companies. In my mind, I'm like, I'm still learning. I'm still at the beginning. I've still got so much more to learn. So then my bucket is not empty. My bucket starts getting filled up. And this is what I want you all to really pay close attention to. You'll always have to get to a point where you are learning. Again, it comes back to number 1, but it's not just learning new stuff. It's like you've got to be the student. Like I hang around a lot of my billionaire friends. And when they're with me, they're asking me all the questions. Like, you're the billionaire. Why are you asking me all the questions? Because they're curious, because they want to learn. And here's the thing. Even though they know something, even though they learn something, even though they already have it and they've already achieved it, if there's a small distinction on how that thing works for them and they can change it and tweak it and it becomes 10x, that's what you want. Because what we want in life is we're not looking for the knowledge, we're looking for the wisdom, right? I'm going to say that again. We're not looking for the knowledge, we're looking for the wisdom. Little things that you can do that make a massive impact on your life, on your finances, your relationship, your health. That's why I like to look at a lot of biohacking. I like to look at a lot of the things that can accelerate your life to the next level. And this is what success truly is. This is some of the things I've learned in the last 20 years of being in business. By the way, I'll link a video here as well, so you can see what are some of the things that we actually need to implement in order to create that success. If you have any questions, leave some questions below, like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.